So Kev,
Yeah,
what's the deal with modding?
let's get into it. Alright, so I got a request from a viewer to talk about modding, and I actually think it's a quite interesting topic. It's decently well known that one of the best ways to get into the game industry is actually mod some games and throw it on your resume. Because it's actually really impressive. If a lot of times when you're modding a game, obviously you need a lot of technical understanding of how it works, as long as it's not some super simple modding. And if you're modding a game, then that's when you're getting into making a lot of real design decisions and trying to make the game better, and it gives you a lot of understanding about what makes a game good and bad and stuff.
Okay, so it kind of gives that designer mind
Yeah.
to someone.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of my favorite mods too are stuff I try and improve a game. Skyrim has a crap ton of mods in
It
general,
has an
but
insane amount of mods.
yeah, my favorite mods in Skyrim are the ones that try to improve the design of the game. 'Cause it definitely has a lot of rough edges.
It's an old game by this point though, right?
Yeah.
But it was a little rough around the edges to begin with, but that's another story for another time. Continuing on with mods, so do you think they hurt or help a game? Or does it really depend on the scenario and the types of mods we're talking about here?
I think it definitely depends on the game to some extent, because I'm not particularly concerned with modding The Walking Dead.
Who would be?
Yeah,
okay,
a
I
Telltale
getcha.
game, it doesn't make so much sense, but I'm going to use Skyrim again as an example. It's one of those open world games where there's so many options and stuff, and there's level design and mechanics and leveling systems and all that kind of stuff to kind of play around with.
Right.
So if you have a lot of stuff to play around with as a modder, then you're definitely in a good situation there.
In my mind, when I think of mods, I think of open world games. I think
Yeah.
that's the best thing for it, because an open world is pretty much like a sandbox for you to play in.
Yeah.
And then the mods are just giving you more
An extension of
tools.
that sandbox.
Exactly. It's just giving you more stuff to do in that sandbox. So that's something I think is beneficial. But something I think could tie into this, because I remember there was some hot water. Is that what people say?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure, there was boiling water. There was steam created from water above 100 degrees Celsius. No, there was steam issue about the whole paid mods. What's up with this? Because honestly, okay, so I read this.
Yeah.
And maybe I wasn't too deep in it, and maybe I'm gonna get some hate for this. I don't see what's wrong with it. From my understanding, it's modders were going to be paid for making mods, and that is good.
Yeah, I do.
So
I do think it's a good thing, and I think the biggest issue with how it happened was just how they rolled it out. It was completely out of left field. They're just here's a bunch of paid mods now, and the modders who made them weren't given very much time, so the mods were of low quality, but the price was kind of high, and yeah, it definitely felt like it split the modding community. It's also something that the modding community kind of represents freeness.
yeah,
In general, people don't sell.
but that's not
mods.
sustainable.
It is. It's been happening for 40 years.
How is that justifiable for this group of, let's say, 4 or 5 people to just make mods and when they're not making any money off of it? That's not. If a million people download that mod and use it, you should get some monetary compensation for spending many hours. Am I crazy on this?
Well, a lot of times people will put up donation links and stuff.
Right.
That's really popular, but generally mods are passion projects, and there's a lot of people who kind of just felt that's how mods should stay. That's what they are, because I guess the mods have a lot of meaning to them, which I can kind of understand. But yeah, you definitely have a point. If modding is to grow and stuff like that, then there needs to be some sort of compensation, so somebody can actually take a real legitimate amount of time and work and put it into a mod and get paid for it.
Right. Yeah, because someone could actually make a job out of this and then maybe segue themselves into some type of job into the industry.
Yeah.
But that's a way to get into it, and that's a way for them actually to get into it without having to work a 9 to 5 on top of that. Because I think of it as someone is producing a product, and if they're creating a product and millions of people are playing it, they should be paid for that product. So I don't know. That's part of the problem I have with the whole PC community. I think everything should be free. That's what I say. It's not like mobile though. Those guys are terrible.
Everything should be expensive.
Oh my god.
Except for the first download, that's free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Foolish stuff.
Bullish indeed.